Hi there, Sergey Gigolov here for InfoWorld at IDG. In this episode of Smart Go, we're going to take a look at the short assignment operator in Go, the quick way to declare a variable and assign it a value. And we're also going to look at when it is appropriate to use this syntax in a Go application as opposed to the more long-form assignment form. See, Go has two basic ways to declare a variable. For convenience, I'll call them the long way and the short way. The long way is the way most often taught when people first learn Go. You use the var keyword, one or more variable names, and a type, and then optionally a declaration. The type is explicitly declared. Here's one example of how this works. We have multiple integers created with a single such declaration. However, if you want to create a variable and immediately assign it to something where the type of it is going to be self-evident, you can do that with the short assignment operator, the colon and the equal sign. You don't need to specify the type, you don't use the var keyword. When you use the short assignment operator, the type of the variable is automatically inferred from what you're assigning it to. This works best when you have something where the type of the thing in question can be determined at a glance, such as a constant like a string, integer, Boolean value, float, and so on and so forth. Here's a couple more examples of the short assignment form with inferred types. You'll notice that not all of these involve constants that are in line. For instance, the function makeString returns a string from user input. The return type of the function in this case will then determine the type of the variable that it will be set to, in other words, a string. Short assignments generally have to follow a few rules. The first is that you can't use a short assignment outside of a function body. This code, for instance, is not going to be valid. If we try to run it, it will throw an error. But that's a reflection of an existing limitation in Go. Every statement outside of a function must start with a keyword. It's perfectly easy for us to just use the more explicit long-form assignment to avoid this problem anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Another key rule is that variables declared using short assignment syntax can't be redefined. This example here, for instance, won't work. But again, that's just an extension of a general rule in Go, which is that a variable cannot be redefined inside a block. What's most crucial with the short assignment form is when it makes the most sense to use it. Short assignments work best when they satisfy two conditions. First, that it's not hard to infer at a glance what the type of the variable is going to be, typically because it's assigned to a constant or a function that has a very obvious return value. The other condition is when the variable in question is transitory, when it's just holding a value long enough to do some interim function level processing, and where the type of the variable isn't likely to be important to know elsewhere in the function or in its return. The first of these rules applies much more than the second, though. Whenever possible, you should balance readability and succinctness in your code, but readability should always take precedence. That's it for this episode. If you liked it, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the IDG Tech Talk channel on YouTube. And for more Smart Go and more Dev with Serdar, be sure to follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Infoworld.com.